I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the lighter. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. So welcome to the fire. Welcome to the fire. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. So welcome to the fire. Welcome to the fire.
Hello and welcome to the Orkla Nordic Career Event. We decided after having such a successful event in Norway in September that we would do it all over again, but this time it's bigger and maybe better. So this is also a live show, so anything can happen, but we're gonna roll with the punches. My name is Kate Aunis Ingram, and I'm head of employee branding and recruitment here at Orkla. And my partner in crime today is...
My name is David Konrad Abramovsky Ortond, and I'm a senior advisor at Orkla IT.
And we have a great session planned for you today. Our Q&A is already open and up and running, so please start sending in your questions, and you can continue to do so throughout the session. And we'll keep answering them a half an hour after the event concludes to make sure we give you the answers you're looking for. But also, for one lucky participant, you will win an iPad and AirPods.
Yes, you can. So please pay attention to what we say, answer the quiz diligently, and you might be the lucky winner of this iPad and AirPods. As Kate said, at the end, we'll select a winner. And you can find the quiz link in the little title below us, and also on the QR code that will be on the screen momentarily that you can scan with your mobile phone in order to partake in the quiz.
And speed matters here, folks. The faster you complete it with the most right answers. So since you're going to be spending quite a bit of time with us, we thought it made sense to get to know us a little bit better. So let's start with you, David. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role here at Orkla?
So as I said, I'm a senior advisor in Orkla IT. And what do I do? What does this mean? I am pretty much the resident productivity expert at Orkla, and I train Orkla employees on what productivity tools they should use digitally. I have the pleasure of working with managers in order to make them into digital leaders. So what I do is I bridge culture and technology and help our end users or employees find like minds, be brave and inspire through technology.
And I can imagine that's become even more important since COVID-19.
Yes, no, it has. It has. And that was a little bit about me, but tell me, Kate, what do you do?
Funny you should ask that. Well, I work within HR, but I work within a specialist branch within employee branding and recruitment. And I'm definitely not your traditional HR professional. And the space that I work in is really where it's a connection of people and culture. And I really delve into finding out how can we be the most attractive company for all of those of you watching, for example. But then also once people join Orkla, how do we keep them here? How do we keep them happy? How do we keep them engaged? And I also get to do really cool events like this, and no day is the same. So I know you haven't worked at Orkla your whole career.
No.
So what was your journey into the company like?
So I'm only almost 2 years old at Orkla. Before coming here, I educated myself a little bit. I'm a social anthropologist with a master's degree in business who works in IT, believe it or not. And before I found my way to Orkla, I was with Microsoft for almost 10 years where I was a productivity specialist there. but I wanted to practice what I preached. And I found this global organization called Orkla where I could actually put theory into practice. So I came here.
You know, we have quite a few parallels. I come from Canada, and I studied English and literature. And I think sometimes Orkla, we can be maybe traditionally known as being a school of marketing. And obviously it is very important, but we also have lots of other different backgrounds and people who have studied different things such as ourselves. But I've lived in Norway for about 11 years. And my pathway into Orkla, I worked in consumer goods at Coca-Cola, so a big global brand. But actually, what I found when I considered Orkla was there was greater potential to cooperate and work internationally. And I have a group role, which means I work across 14 countries, but I also got the chance to really create something from scratch. I built a function right from the beginning. And that opportunity to work creatively and create something, that's a pretty amazing experience. So now that you've gotten to know the two of us a little bit better, it's time to get to know Orkla a little bit better. Welcome back, everyone, and we hope you got to know Orkla a little bit better and also find out some pretty cool and interesting facts about our company. That video honestly never gets old for me, and what always sticks out in my mind is 1654. What happened then?
Well, this only proves that in 1654, that's when Orkla came to be, as an organization, as a company, as a mining company. But we have a long history, almost a 400-year-old history now. And we've evolved. We've become into a consumer goods company now. So this only proves that Orkla can stand, you could say, the test of time and last throughout the years. It won't disappear tomorrow, nor hopefully in another 400 years.
It's really tradition and adaptability mixed into one. But we're going to mix things up again because we know this is a virtual environment. We got to keep you guys on the edge of your seats. And as the whole concept of this event is really turning a traditional company presentation on its head, we took the same approach when it came to our country presentations. So we wanted to avoid lengthy graphs and lots of facts and figures and slides. And we gave everyone a challenge. And what was that challenge?
So this is a Nordic event. So we've gathered together Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden. We asked all countries to tell us what they do, how they do it. And this is a huge challenge because they need to squeeze in everything they can do in 6 minutes. However, at Orkla, we love challenges, so they were very willing to accept it. So to kick things off, let's welcome our friends from Denmark.
Hi, My name is Anne, and I'm an HR business partner and communications consultant within our Danish food company. I'm glad to be able to join my Nordic colleagues in drawing up the full picture of Orkla for all of you listening in from so many different places. Orkla in Denmark consists of 4 primary business areas. These are confectionery and snacks, care, food ingredients, and foods. Each area consists of local companies who all share the same mission of delivering our beloved brands to our customers and consumers. And because of our widespread business areas, our customers are everywhere from retail to industry, within the food service and catering sectors, and within bakeries and pharmacies. In line with the Orkla strategy, our brands hold leading positions in the Danish market, and therefore we are a valued and strategic partner to our customers. Mainly because of brands with a long heritage like Kim's, Beauvais, Odense Marcipan and Livol. But also because we are able to adjust and to innovate and not afraid to take on new challenges. For instance, like being the front runner in the plant-based movement with our brand Naturli'. Every day, our more than 1,800 employees get up and go to work with a passion for what they do. Whether it's making that perfectly tasty meal solution or creating a groundbreaking tablet shape that allows our consumers to live a more convenient life with access to more sustainable choices. We have 16 factories spread across the country where we produce our many locally produced goods. In Skælskør, the production of Beauvais herregårdsrødkål for Christmas is about to set in. And in Ishøj near Copenhagen, we produce vitamins and food supplements for young and old and for all seasons of the year. So everywhere there's an Orkla site, there's also a strong connection to the local community because we want to play an active part where we are. As the company behind some of the Danish most preferred products, we also have the responsibility to drive innovation and to help guide the Danish consumers make more sustainable choices. It is our ambition, together with our consumers and our customers, to be part of the climate solution through actively working with the UN sustainability goals. This means that we continuously work on choosing and developing packaging solutions that are more friendly to the environment than those of yesterday. It also means that we contribute to minimizing food waste throughout the value chain from production to retail and by affecting the habits in our homes. Our overall ambition is to make it easier for consumers to choose climate smart solutions and products by guidance and by insights, and for instance, by offering very tasty, convenient, plant-based products. To round up this presentation, I've been asked to put a few words into what gets me up in the morning and go to work. In my view, Orkla offers the best of 2 worlds. On one hand, it's a large corporation with all the possibilities that entails. And on the other hand, it's a local company with the space, agility, and possibilities for us as employees to take ownership and make solutions that are aimed right at the heart of the Danish consumers. Orkla in Denmark opens the doors to 7 companies across the country, so there are great possibilities to join no matter where you live or what you've studied. Each company obviously has its own unique traits, but we all strive to live up to the Orkla values of being brave, trustworthy, and inspiring. So the main reason for going to work every day is to be found among the people working here and the culture that we create together. So on that note, I hope I have enlightened you a bit about the life at Orkla in Denmark, and I hope to meet some of you out there in the future.
Hi everybody, my name is Maija Torppa and I'm working as a key account manager at Orkla Suomi. Orkla Suomi provides Finnish homes with high quality and tasteful food, different treats and food solutions for both everyday life and special occasions. We operate in 7 different locations in Finland and we have 2 own factories. One is located at Vaajakoski and the other one is located at Åland Islands. Together, we are represent with 70 different brands for every occasion. Our brand portfolio is amazing. Our slogan, "Your friend in everyday life," says basically it all. If you are planning a nice Friday evening at home, what would be better than having a truffle snacks, little bit panda confectionery, grandiosa pizza, Ålannin French fries, among other things. Those are the cornerstones for the great success. Or if you are planning a traditional celebration like this coming Christmas, you will find so many goodies for the Christmas table from our brands, such as Abba herring, Felix beetroot, cucumber, mayonnaise, salad dressing, etc. And of course, for the dessert table, they would be perfect to have a little bit panda juhlapöydän konvehteja and the Kantolan crackers to go with cheese and some lovely Ekströms jam. Our sister company, Orkla Care Finland, is also a savior. If you got your wound on your hand, you can always have the Salve Quick plaster on it. Does the darkness in November be really bad for you? You can always get a little bit boost from Sanasol vitamins. After Christmas, you might feel a bit stuffed up, but there's also help from Orkla Care portfolio. You can have a little bit Samarin or maybe a short diet with Nutrilet. This is not all what Orkla Care has. There are plenty of high quality products for personal well-being, health and wound care, for home care and cleaning, as well as basic garments and underwear that fit to the Finnish taste. Our brands include, for example, Möller, Jordan, Erittäin hieno suomalainen, and Black Horse. Sustainability is a part of everything what we do at Orkla, and we want to make the sustainable choices easier. That is why we want to offer and also develop healthier and better products for both people and for our planet. For example, January 2020, our Åland-based Taffel and Ålannin potato factory has been using electricity produced by local wind energy. The electricity produced by one windmill covers the factory's yearly electricity need. And what about myself? What I love about my job? I came to Orkla 10 years ago as an executive assistant. During these 10 years, I have been working in many different positions. For example, I've been working as a sales coordinator for the domestic sales, but also been helping our export team with new business. As a key account manager, I have been working the last 5 years. My role as a key account manager includes mainly out-of-home customers, such in convenience sector as gas stations, kiosks, independent web shops, some wholesale customers, and I'm also part of the Orkla digital team here in Orkla Suomi. As we have 2 factories in Finland, this gives a bunch of different kind of working possibilities. For example, in logistics, research and development, marketing, sales, HR, and of course, digital transformation is also giving us new positions possibilities. What Orkla can offer as an employer? It can offer superb and trusted brands, which are brilliant, and also great and professional team that are based on a professional way of working. Mutual respect, and of course, a very relaxed working atmosphere. This is Orkla Suomi in Orkla, Finland. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Bengt Johannessen, and I'm going to present Orkla Norway for you. And as you've already heard, Orkla has 4 business units, and in Norway we have all 4 of those. We have Orkla Food, Confectionery Snacks, Care, and Food Ingredients. Myself, I work in Orkla Care, and I'm a product developer. That means I am responsible for the content of the product, either a new or existing product. I'm actually responsible for the Salo, which you see in the bottom left picture, which is basically the best hand dishwasher in Norway. No bias, of course. I am a chemist, and I have a chemical engineering background. We have a lot of Norwegian production in Norway. We have about 3,000 employees at 21 different sites and about 12 billion Norwegian kroners in sales revenue from 2019. And you've seen this already. In Orkla, we have many brands, and here you can see some of the Norwegian ones. You can probably find your favorite here, or possible future favorite, I don't know. Whether it's Grandiosa, Jif, Smash, my personal favorite, Stratos, it's up to you, and you meet these every day. You've also seen that some of these brands are across different markets. And we say that we're global, but we're also super local. So we know the Nordic consumers' needs. And sometimes we find that one brand can have success across different markets. Common for all these brands in Orkla is the fact that we have a high focus on sustainability. And I would like to highlight 4 brands that really excel at this, like the Jordan Green Clean with plastic toothbrush, or Pierre Robert, which has eco-labeled wool and also great initiatives with clothes swapping. You have our Toro soups with the carbon footprint labeling. And of course, the originally Danish brand Naturlig with the plant-based food. Super well received launch here in Norway. Another major perk of Orkla Norway is the fact that the headquarters are located here in Oslo at Skøyen. So about 900 employees work in this building. It's a 17-story building. It was finished in 2019 with very high sustainability focus. It has solar panels on every roof, I think, high-tech equipment and great facilities. We have a hair salon. We have a gym, an entire floor is a gym. And we have 2 different cafes and 1 restaurant, where one of the cafes is the Naturlig, which serves plant-based food. And the burger there is so good. So you could come in here, have a meeting, have lunch, or come in as a private person. It doesn't matter. If you're in the neighborhood, make sure to stop by. And my life in Orkla, I've been here for 4.5 years now. And what I've noticed is the fact that you get recognition for work well done. So annually we have an award show which is quite fun. And you get awards for different initiatives, innovations. It could be communication or design. It doesn't matter. If it's work well done, it's awarded. And that's for cross country, of course. There's great people in Orkla. Great people tend to gravitate towards us, which is really nice because that means you have not only colleagues but friends at work. And there's so many different backgrounds. Me as a product developer, I'm a chemist, but you could also have a degree in food science, nutrient science. You could be a cook, you could be an architect, product design. If you have the competence, I'm sure there's room here. Another thing that I'd like to highlight is the responsibility part. My company adopted a beach some years ago. So now twice a year, we go and clean that beach, which is really fulfilling. And it proves our real sustainability commitment, I think. Other than that, there's great people and great activities you could partake in. I also joined the choir. I'm no great singer, but it's a lot of fun. And of course, the workouts that you could do here. So Orkla enables a healthy and fun lifestyle outside and at work. And we need new great people like yourself. So definitely go apply, become a part of the family. It's highly recommended. Thank you and good night, guys.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm heading up the digital activities in Orkla Foods here in Sweden. Even though I have a digital focus in my everyday, I can honestly say that the One Orkla approach with cooperation within and over country borders is a big part of my daily work and what I believe makes Orkla such a unique company. But for now, I've been asked to talk about Sweden for a bit. Sweden accounts for 21% of the sales of Orkla brands, which makes it the second largest market in the group. Orkla Sweden is divided into 4 business units. We have Orkla Foods, where I work. We have Orkla Confectionery and Snacks, Orkla Ingredients, and Orkla Care. And altogether, we are over 3,000 people working in 18 different locations. Over 90% of what we sell in Sweden is also produced and grown in Sweden, and many times also in close cooperation with local farmers. The different locations all have different various competences and methods of production, and they take responsibility of different parts of our brand portfolio. For example, in Eslöv, we're producing our vegan brand Anamma, as well as potatoes and vegetable products. Falun is our hub for the production of all our hygiene products. And in Filipstad, it's always, wait for this, thank God it's Friday. And it's every day because they produce all our snacks. Orkla Sweden is behind some of the most recognized brands in Sweden, and all of them have a long history in the lives of Swedes. Thanks to our products being such a big part of everyday life in Sweden, it allows us to gain great insights on consumer preferences and needs, which in return guides us in our development and innovation process. As our products are such a big part of Swedish culture and heritage, it's important for us to also create products that are both sustainable, tastes good, and do good in the society. Today, we believe that the climate change we are facing is one of the greatest challenges of our time. Knowing that the daily consumption of food and hygiene products have a great impact on reaching the set climate targets, we believe it's a given and a responsibility for us in Orkla to be part of the solution. So for us to be a market leader in our industry, it also needs to be that we need to be a market leader within sustainability. To positively influence the development of our society like this is something that we take great pride in and we like to continue working on. And that is also one of the things that I believe is cool when working in Orkla Sweden, which brings me to why I like my job. Every day when you open your computer, you go and work for a greater good. Not only the emails that you manage to get across from your inbox, but the fact that you can and you are making a difference for people in climate, which also means your friends, family, and their environments. Secondly, based on the digital focus that I have, we are on a journey in Orkla Sweden, which is super exciting and a path that has not been existing before. Some of the things that I have the possibility to work with is, for example, enhancing the digital consumer journey and how we can get closer to the actual conversion moment at our consumers. Also, how can we better accumulate and activate our data? Because nowadays, it's business crucial to both have and use data in our communication with our consumers. It's cool to know that you can shape the future, both internally as well as externally within customers and consumers. Thirdly, I actually only got the opportunity to say 3 reasons, but believe me, there are many more when working with Orkla. I'm gonna say colleagues, or should I say family? Because when you're working in Orkla, you're working together with your family. And that's not many people who can say that nowadays. It's very fun, exciting, and an opportunity to be able to go to work every day and be surrounded amongst these people. The passion, the creativity, and the eagerness to succeed you have along with your colleagues. And that's one of the things that I believe makes Orkla such a unique company, and it stands out. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. And we hope you learned something new about our different Nordic businesses. It's likely you recognize quite a few local brands that you use in your everyday, but perhaps you weren't aware that they were actually part of Orkla. So David, what was your key takeaway from the presentations?
Well, I get boggled by this every single time, and my key takeaway from this is that there is an Orkla product for every moment of the day, either it's morning, afternoon, dinner time, or evening.
Yeah, I honestly, for many of you, if you just walked around your house or your apartment, I'm pretty sure you would spot quite a few Orkla products without having been aware that they were part of the Orkla family. I think for me, there was really an apparent red thread through all of the presentations, and it was sustainability. I think our commitment to really trying to be a part of the solution and finding ways to be proactive and have a really strong sustainability agenda are really, really apparent from this. But now we're going to shake things up again, and we're going to move into the hot seat section. So David, what happens in the hot seat?
So, because this is a Nordic virtual career fair, it's only fitting that we introduce and bring in young talent, new graduates, and young professionals that work in Orkla. So we've gathered them, and we've also invited Mr. Orkla himself, Axel, who will give us an interview with all these young candidates. Axel, over to you.
Thank you, Kate and David. So now we have seen a bit about the different countries, a bit about the different business areas on a higher level. But now we're going to drill down into the true core of Orkla, the people. So for all of you guys listening, we have picked some of our young and talented employees who will share their experience and also answer some questions that you guys have asked beforehand. And we will try to keep the pace pretty high to get through a lot of questions and different angles. So just keep up and ask questions in the chat. So to start the ball, we have our lovely co-worker Anina, who works in marketing in Orkla. Orkla Finland. Anina, can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. I'm sorry, it's quite hard to hear you, Anina. Maybe there's something. I hope it's good, but I'm getting. Just go over to the next one.
Now?
Yeah, now it was really.
Okay,
really
sorry,
loud.
I was talking them quietly. We had a microphone thing here.
Perfect. Perfect.
I guess
but
that's
I think
part of going live.
yeah, perfect.
Can you hear me now?
But now I can hear you. Perfect.
Okay.
And I didn't quite hear your answer, but I think we'll just try and say that we know that many of you have different backgrounds. So I'm just wondering, Anina, what is your background before you started as a brand manager?
Yeah, I came right away from school actually to Orkla. I studied marketing and fashion, and then I worked at many different companies, everything from smaller textile chains to a bank to media agencies. But here I truly can work with two of my main passions, so textiles and marketing.
Awesome. So what do you love most about your job?
Well, there are many things I truly love, but I think maybe back to the first question that I didn't really have the chance to apply, I think is that we can truly, as brand managers, make a difference in order to provide products and brands to our local models for the consumers. So that is something that I truly value.
Thank you so much, and let's hope we get some clear sounds on the next candidates. But I think we're good now. Thank you so much again, Anina.
Thank you.
Next up, we are staying in the marketing genre, but we are moving over to Orkla Norway, because you always also work as a brand manager, right, Vigdis?
Yes, I do. I work with pizza.
Okay, awesome. Because we have chosen a pretty hard question for you, or in my opinion, a pretty hard question. Vigdis, what do you think differentiates Orkla from other FMCG companies, and especially in the marketing role, as you worked with marketing?
I mean, when I compare my job to my friends who are also in large companies with head offices in Paris or in Amsterdam, they get a product that is finished developed and then they are asked to make it work in their local market. Whereas we have, like Anina said, we have this local model. So we get to use our market insight and then actually come up with ideas for our own markets and develop the ideas to products together with the whole value chain. So you go from product development, you go to the factory, you see it be made, and then you follow it into the market, and you get to do the whole creative part and then analyze what happens. So you follow the product through its whole journey.
Yeah, so you're really hands-on.
Yeah, super hands-on.
Yeah, super hands-on. Yeah, and we work together on a daily basis, Vigdis. So I know that you love your job, but I think it's funny to challenge you to say what do you love the most about your job?
I think because we're part of the whole value chain, every day there's a new challenge, and it might be stuff you're not trained for and things that you haven't really had to deal with before. So you have to always do all this creative problem solving, and I really love that.
Thank you for your effective answer, Vigdis, and it's good to hear that we're back on track on the sound. So we are continuing our Nordic tour, and next up is Orkla Sweden, and we are moving over to a new genre for the day, and that's sales. Because Alice, you work as a key account manager, but what does actually a key account manager do in Orkla?
Yeah, that's a good question, Axel. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound is okay. Good. Well, I don't know if you guys are aware, but most of Orkla's brands and products are not sold directly to the consumers, but mainly through our customers. And our customers can be grocery stores and pharmacies, for instance. And I, as a key account manager, am then the main contact towards these customers. So to give you an example, when Vigdis and Anina have been working really hard on creating these amazing products that they know the consumers will love to buy, it's then my responsibility to make sure that we have successful launches with our customers so the Swedish people can find the products in stores.
So you're kind of the striker, you're scoring the goal.
Yeah, definitely. No, we're definitely a team. So we really need to work well together.
Yeah. And I was wondering what academic profile and background do you have, and how does that help you in your job as a key account manager?
Yeah, well, you know the answer to that since we actually studied together for 5 years. But for the rest of you, I have a master's degree from NHH in marketing and international management. And during my studies, I found Orkla really interesting, mainly because of the brand manager role. It seemed like a great place to start, so you could be both creative in marketing and also strategic since you're managing a brand. And so it happened that I moved to Sweden after my studies and started working as a brand manager for Pierre Robert. And after doing a bit of marketing, I realized that sales was interesting as well. So I switched it up to work in sales, and I can definitely recommend that. But Axel, you asked me whether the studies have prepared me for this role. I would say yes, definitely, and maybe more than we're aware of. But I have to be honest and say that I haven't opened any of my school books since I graduated. What about you?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think you need a theoretical background to just understand, but I agree. You have to learn as you go, and on the job training is maybe the most important thing in my opinion as well. So thank you so much, Alice. That's a great reply, and we will continue on sales, and we will continue in Sweden. So because Harry, you work as a key account manager as well. But I wonder, what customers and products do you work with?
Yes, exactly. Hi, everyone. So I work with our customer Coop, which stands for around 20% of the market here in Sweden. And I work within confectionery snacks. So our most known brands are OLV within snacks and candy. And within biscuits, we have, for example, Ballerina, Singoalla, and Göteborgskex. And we are market leaders within both snacks and biscuits.
Okay, so Harry, I noted that you came to Orkla from Unilever, and I wanted to ask you what are your thoughts on actually what Vigdis answered to earlier on what is the difference between Orkla and other FMCG companies since you actually done the transition?
Yeah, exactly. So I worked 3 years for Unilever before I joined Orkla. And it's a bit hard question to answer since I started in April during more or less lockdown. So I haven't met many colleagues yet, but some of them, and they are really nice. But Orkla isn't totally new for me since I had a 6 months trainee position at Confectionery and Snacks during my last year of studies at Stockholm School of Economics, and that's 5 years ago from now. And it's my experiences from that time that really made me want to come back to Orkla after these years, because for me culture is very important, and I'm not saying that it's a poor culture at Unilever, but I think it's different to Orkla's. Also compared to my experiences of other companies within this industry, I think Orkla's culture stand out. And the biggest differences as I see them is that Orkla has a bigger focus on people and let's say more soft values. And that's at least very important for me to feel good and thrive in my job.
Thank you so much for your honest answer, Harry. And I guess a good first impression there is never wrong if you were here on an internship in the first place. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're now going over to Kasper. Can you hear me?
Yes. And you can hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can. We have now reached the Danish department, and Kasper, you work as an optimization engineer for Orkla Denmark, and I was wondering, how does a regular day look like for you?
Well, a regular day in the production for us starts with the morning and board meetings together with the operators and managers, and we go through different KPIs, especially safety, but also quality and production numbers, and then we fine-tune the plan for today's production. During the day, we solve smaller issues together with the operators and technicians, and of course, a huge part of my job is about optimize the production. We work with lean and with lean tools, and Orkla has its own lean program called OPS, Orkla Production System, and we use a lot of these tools to optimize the production. And of course, at the end of the day, it's about deliver for our customers and deliver our products.
Thank you. And I was wondering, since we're having this format in the career fair, it's because of the pandemic going on right now. And I was wondering, as an optimization engineer, you're probably optimizing for every situation. So I was wondering, how has COVID-19 actually, how has that affected your way of working in your role?
Yeah, for me personally, I've moved out from the production area and to the administration area because we were too many people in two small offices inside the production area. So I have to go in and outside the production several times a day. So that creates some distance. But as you can see, I have my working clothes on, so I can go in and outside all the time. And in our production side, we produce vitamin tablets. And it has always been a quite popular product for us, but in this time it's become a even more popular product for us. And normally we produce about 1 billion vitamin tablets per year, but in this year we will reach about 1.4 billion tablets. So we are very, very busy and had a lot of smaller optimization projects all the time. So we are sure to meet the customer demand. And of course, it gives some social distance. We have fewer people in the canteen, and it's harder to get external people on the side if we need something in the production. And we work home in periods, and of course, there will be no traditional Christmas lunch for us this year.
Thank you so much, Kasper. I guess you're in the lucky end of the scale, even still. So yeah. We are staying in Denmark. And now we'll hear from Julia, because Julia, you work with the finance department in Orkla Denmark. And what do you do there?
Yeah, I work as a business controller in Orkla Care, Denmark, where I work a lot with numbers and spreadsheets.
Yeah, I guess that's a part of it as well. You're controlling things, controlling the business. That's a big part of it. Because what else do you do as a business controller?
Well, I work on a lot of different projects, and that's actually one of the things I really love about my job. So on a daily basis, I would work closely together with both sales, business development, marketing, and so on. So it's a lot of different people, stakeholders, and all kinds of projects, some long-term, some short-term, some very specific, and others that are not at all. So yeah,
So,
all
so
in
a
all,
lot,
a great mix. Yeah,
a
sorry.
lot of different things. And so how many projects are you typically involved in within a year?
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't been working for Orkla for a year yet, so but until now, quite a lot.
Okay, that's interesting. So if you haven't worked there full year, what would you say? And maybe we can rephrase and say what do you think is how do you see your opportunities in terms of your professional progression or in such an early stage of your career in Orkla?
Well, I think there's a lot of opportunities in Orkla. First of all, it's a large international company, but I think more importantly for me, at least, I really felt from day one that my manager wants to help me and develop me in the direction I find interesting. So we regularly talk about like what my next step in Orkla could be and what other positions I find interesting. So yeah, I clearly have a feeling that when I at some point want to move on to a new position in Orkla, he will definitely support me and help me. And until then, just keep developing me in my current role. So yeah, I definitely see a future in Orkla.
Thank you so much for the honest answer, and I guess that's a really big an important part of being a new employee, that you feel taken care of. So thank you so much for the answer. And we are now moving back to Finland and over to you, Tobias. You work as a product group manager in Orkla Suomi or Finland. And as a product group manager, what is your involvement in the new product development?
This is one of my favorite subjects. As a product group manager within snacks, working with very well-known brands in Finland like Taffel and Any Nuts, I do work a lot together with our product development team. We exchange thoughts on a almost daily basis. And together we are developing the snacks portfolio by matching our different consumer insights with new product ideas and trending flavors from all around the world, from US to Asia, but not to forget Europe. And we also continuously discuss how we can make our current snacks products even better, as Maija told in the introduction for Orkla Suomi.
And what would you say is the big trends within your sector right now?
I think one big trend in the whole world, but also in the impulse category and snacks, is sustainability. How we can treat our environment while making great snacking products. As we have local snacks production here in Finland and Åland Islands, we really need to look how we treat our resources in the possible best way. All the way from the consumer insights to growing our potatoes until the ready snacking bag is bought by the consumer in a store online. Another big trend is always taste and new inspiring flavors and taste teams. Taste is still king, and having a vegan, clean label product made in a sustainable way is unfortunately not enough today. We need to have great taste in the product. As an example, we see chili with a twist trending here in Finland, but also fruity tastes associated with wellness and health, and also plant-based are trending here. And we hear a lot about new trends and taste and flavors from around the world from our partners, but we also have own research together with our marketing and innovation teams.
Thank you so much. That's we got the pace up there, Tobias. Thank you very much. But to meet these new trends and to produce products for the trends, we need product developers like you, Carl Johan. Can you maybe tell us a bit about what a product developer do?
Well, absolutely. We work very much in projects, and basically as a product developer, I am involved in all parts of the development chain, all the way to the launch of the finalized product. So starting with train spotting and brainstorming sessions, we try to come up with new ideas for new projects. And then we move on to kitchen trials, where we in a small scale try to produce the product that we want to do. And then we move on to trial productions, where we might try the new formulations and recipes, and we might even include some consumer tests at this stage. So roughly you can say that our responsibilities end when the developed product is ready to be handed over to the ordinary production without any need for support from our side.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess you mentioned kitchen, so you probably work with foods, and maybe you could tell us about a product you were a part of creating.
Yeah, sure, you're right. I only work with foods in Orkla for the time being. So I work very much in the field of vegetarian meat substitutes, and mainly with our brand Anamma. So as you may know, there is quite a lot of innovation going on in this area at the moment. But I think to me, one of the most exciting launches would be from a few years back, when we had come up with a new formulation for a vegan burger, which we actually thought was really good. And together with one of the chefs at our company, we chose to present this burger to McDonald's actually. And that led to the beginning of a joint project where we, in the end, launched the McVegan burger in both Sweden and Finland. So that product is still on the menu, and it makes it easier for fast food lovers to choose greener alternatives still today. So that's something that I'm very proud of.
That's cool. So you're kind of the father of the McVegan burger, I guess.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's really cool. That is so awesome with Orkla. You see the people behind the products. Thank you so much. So we're now going on to Mats. You also work as a product developer, but in Orkla, Denmark.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Do you have any different reflections on what a product developer do?
Karl-Johan and I, we have very similar roles, but just in different countries. And I think he just summarized it very well, but I can add a little bit more. For example, when my colleagues are presenting new products for the supermarket chains, then I cook food for them using the new products, so that our customers, they try the new products in the way they are intended to. So quite an important and a very, very exciting role. And I think in a bigger perspective, we also help people, and we take part of forming the future, because as a product developer, we take part in creating new, healthier, tastier, more sustainable products and food solutions. So that's a help both for the consumer, but also for the planet. And we get to try and taste a lot of new foods almost every day. And I also, in that way, make a difference for other people. So what's not to like? I really, really love it.
Thank you so much for the answer. It's a really good take to see that you're actually impacting people every day. It's really nice. And I think for me, it's quite hard to understand, because I'm not working with development. It's hard to understand how much time that really is spent creating new products. So I don't know, how long is it? How long do you use to create a product?
It's actually a good question, because it really depends. The process from idea to finished product usually takes more than a year. And as Karl-Johan said, it's an ongoing process where you have a prototype, and then you adjust along the way. And it also depends very much on how many bumps there's on the road. Line extensions, for example, can be done quicker. So if you have known raw materials, a known process, and a known product, where you just change the flavor, that can be done quicker. But it's an ongoing process, and it takes time.
So it depends, I guess.
It really depends on various factors. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mats. And we also have a Norwegian product developer that you've already met in one of the videos with us today, and that's Bengt. Can you please tell us about a product you were a part of creating?
Sure can, Axel. When I first started in 2016, I was thrown into the development of Klar, where we launched a series of sustainable cleaning products. And it has been so much fun going along and seeing how the brand has grown, and also see consumers appreciate the product you made, as well as the brand stretch, where we basically start in one segment, such as cleaning here, and we move over and use the same brand for hygiene products, which we have, and see that being successfully implemented. Next year, we're launching a refillable deodorant, and I'm super excited about that because it's quite revolutionary, I think.
Awesome. I have to say I'm a real big Klar fan, so it's a thumbs up for that. I hope everybody tries that. I'm a really big fan. Have it all over my apartment. So, but you work with soap, shampoo, and I guess the other guys were working in the kitchen. You can't do that. So where are you working with when you're developing products?
Yes, my product does not taste as good as Mats's products. But we have a lab where we put everything together, and we could also do testing there. But there's definitely a lot of research that you have to do on the computer or gather insight along with the consumer. So I would need a toilet for a toilet cleaner, and I would need an armpit and a person for a deodorant. And so in my time here, I have been the guy watching people clean in their own houses. I have.
It's many different places to work, I guess. Thank you so much, Bengt. And from product development, we're going over to digital communication because that's a real big and important part of a brand's life now. And with us from Orkla, Sweden is Olivia. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. You work as a digital communication project manager, and I was wondering, how do you get to work creatively in your role?
Well, luckily for me, almost every aspect of my role is very creative, whether it's creative problem solving or big fun branding campaigns for different brands such as Grandiosa, Havrefras, and Risifrutti. I get to sit with a lot of different types of agencies along with my digital team in-house and my marketing team in-house. So everything from creative problem solving to big fun marketing branding campaigns.
So I guess it's the entire consumer journey you're a part of then.
Exactly. We're still trying to optimize that consumer journey and find the different touch points digitally.
Yeah, awesome. And what would you say are the biggest trends you see in the market as a digital asset today?
Well, one of the biggest things we're working on is data and personalization. We want to gather better data so we can analyze it and better enhance our customer experience. So sending the right messages and the right offers to the right people. So this is something we work on very frequently for all the different brands within our portfolio. Another key trend for us is gamification. We've seen this work very well for Grandiosa here in Sweden. It's a fun way of engaging our consumers, and it's very appreciated by the consumers. It's also great because we can engage and activate those customers online, but then bring them into the physical stores for that final conversion. And then we also build our brands and build that relationship and loyalty with our consumers.
Thank you so much for a great answer, Olivia. I actually think you stole my follow-up question as well. So I guess thank you so much for a great answer, Olivia. And we're now going over to you, Andrew. You work as a privacy compliance manager in Orkla ASA. And first of all, I have to ask you, what does a privacy compliance manager do?
Yeah, so my role really is to provide awareness, guidance, and support wherever one of our companies is processing personal data. So if you imagine, we process a lot of personal data about the likes of you, yourself, myself, our employers, our consumers, and everyone who interacts with us trusts us with the data that they provide us. So like Olivia just mentioned about personalization, my role is effectively ensuring that the data we process for that type of activity is handled in line with the expectation of those that give it to us. Or similarly, if we're asking people to apply for jobs at Orkla, we're not asking them for their shoe size at the stage that they're applying for that job. So it's really important for us to ensure that we're always treating personal data as we would treat somebody we care about. And that's effectively the word of privacy that I spread as part of my role.
Oh, but I think it's great to have that sorted out. So now we know what you do. So which department do you work the most with in your job as a privacy compliance manager?
I'd say that one of the beauties of my role is that I actually work with every corner of Orkla. So one day I could be talking to Barbara Mat to help them launch a web shop. And then the next day I might be discussing marketing with our colleagues in Denmark in Riemann. So within Orkla, I actually sit in the legal team. But of course, I work very closely with HR teams when it comes to processing employee data. I work with our marketing and research and sales teams when it comes to consumers and customers. But one of my favorite teams to engage with is actually Orkla Design, because this is where I have the opportunities to get creative, design posters and internal awareness campaigns that are based on our key values, and that really helps ensure that we can reach everybody in the company.
Well, that's a lot of different things you're doing on an everyday basis. What would you say are the most important skills that you have and need to have as a compliance manager?
A lot of compliance is about influencing people's behavior. So we're trying to encourage them to do what's right and behave ethically. So I need to be able to persuade and convince people around to my way of thinking. And a lot of this role as well involves taking complex regulations and laws and being able to break these down into bite-sized, understandable chunks. So good communication is also key. We heard earlier on Kate and David talk in the introduction about the various backgrounds they have. And I said I work in a legal team, but my background isn't actually law. I'm in fact a geographer and I studied geography. But I feel here that at Orkla, I really have the chance to be a bit non-traditional, develop in a legal team and apply the skills that I developed without having that academic legal background.
I think that's a really wonderful answer, Andrew. And it really shows that you can really do anything with your background here in Orkla. And it's really a home to grow is a really suiting phrase.
Yeah.
If you can start off as a geographer and now work in the legal department. I find that quite funny, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And finally, we're going over to Sabrina. You work full-time in Orkla Home and Personal Care now, but as late as this summer, you were an intern through our summer internships. So maybe you could tell us a bit about that path.
Yes, of course. So as you said, I started as an intern just this summer. And right off the bat, I showed interest in wanting a full-time position after my internship and worked hard on projects to land a job. And what I really like about this path is that it was a very smooth transition, given that, when you're an intern, you're already familiar with the company, you've already had different tasks, you've learned the tools and the different programs. So the only difference in a full-time position is that you have, bigger and new tasks and way bigger projects that you're responsible for, but it's way less stressful.
Yeah. And also, I'm wondering, it's a bit hard to phrase the question, but I'm wondering, how do you feel that you're being measured when it comes to results versus efforts in an internship? Because it's such a short period. Do you think it's more result-oriented, or is it important to have a high effort in that role?
I mean, I'd say it's difficult to just pick one or the other because you can't achieve one without the other in a way. So I'd say it's a mix of both. That one must make a good amount of effort to achieve good results, but, showing interest and going the extra mile is always essential during an internship. And at the end of the day, it's also important to just strive during projects and show good results to be remembered and ultimately be hired at the end.
Yeah, I guess the right effort is important. So how do you think your internship relate to your job now?
So now I work as a category and shopper trade analyst, and I had an internship in marketing and brand management. So now I work within the category analyst part. I work more within trend and market analysis, whereas in the shopper trade bit of my position, I work with in-store displays to stand out in store versus our competitors. And I'd say that the internship was more like an introduction or a sneak peek into projects that really relate to my job now.
Yep. Thank you so much for a great answer, Sabrina. And that concludes our hot seat panel for today. And I would like to thank all of our hot seat participants. And I hope that it was really helpful for all you guys listening. and that you got answers to questions you might be wondering. And please feel free to ask more questions in the chat below, because we want to answer as many as possible and as fast as possible. So please do continue to ask questions. And thank you again to our lovely participants. And we will now head back to Kate and David, who are right inside here.
Hello and welcome, and just want to say thank you to Axel, who is the host with the most. I think you've done a fantastic job of navigating so many fantastic panelists coming in live from so many different locations. And I think we've learned a lot about the different career paths and so many of the different jobs that you can do here at Orkla. So now we are moving on to a new presenter, somebody who probably needs a very little introduction, but we're going to give it to him anyways. We are proud to present Jan-Ivar Semlitsch, CEO and President of Orkla. Welcome.
No, thank you, Kate, for that kind introduction. And I must say it's fantastic that we can do it this way with so many participants in the first Nordic digital career event, and the fact that we can use digital tools in a new way, that's great. And I must say I feel proud to be part of Orkla during this pandemic, because in many markets we have been defined as a business critical company by local governments. The fact that we have been able to supply our consumers and our markets with important brands and products during the pandemic, whether it's foods, whether it's confectionery and snacks, hygiene products or health products. That's been very inspiring, and I would say an extra dimension to the job. I would like also to say just a couple of words about myself. My name is Jan-Ivar Semlitsch. I'm 48 years old. I was actually born in Canada, Norwegian mother and Canadian father, but we moved to Norway rather quickly. But I have a Canadian passport and a Norwegian passport. I've been married to the same wife for 22 years, and I have 3 kids. They are 20, 18, and 12 years old. I've been now in the office as the president and CEO of Orkla for 15 months. And I must say I feel proud to be part of Orkla. We were founded in 1654, so there is a lot of history with Orkla. We started actually as a mining company at that time, but gradually moved to become a branded consumer goods company. And although our base is in Norway as a head office, 75% of our sales are outside of Norway. And we have a big presence in Sweden, Denmark, Finland, the Baltics, Central Europe, and also now a big presence in the south of India. And important also to say that we have the whole value chain as Orkla. We have 108 factories across our markets with a local setup, with local autonomy and local empowerment. And the fact that we have the whole value chain means that you will be exposed to factories, to sales and marketing, and to specialized functions as well. So there is a lot to choose from when it comes to Orkla. A dimension to this as well, we are the biggest company by market cap on the Oslo Stock Exchange without any state ownership. You have companies like DNB, Telenor, and Equinor with a bigger market capitalization, but partly with state ownership. And altogether now we are 18,500 employees, and actually from the 1st of January this next year will be 21,500 employees, as we have made a big acquisition in the south of India. Now that was a lot about Orkla, a little bit about myself, but I think another dimension to Orkla, which I think you probably could reflect a little bit upon, which I think is important, is that since we've been around for so many years, we are very much a value-driven company. And we have 3 values standing out in our business. And the first one really around being trustworthy. And what do I mean by that? It means that we have a high level of integrity with the right behavior, doing the right things, doing the right reporting, and really be high on the ethical agenda. And that's based on our long history dating back many, many hundred years. But also the fact that we are a branded consumer goods company, then being inspiring is important. That we can inspire our consumers, our retail customers, and making a difference in the society, being innovative and doing breakthrough innovations. And finally, as we have become a big company and in many markets, it's important that we reinforce our value of being brave. It's actually allowed to make mistakes in Orkla. We learn from our mistakes. We should do breakthrough commercials. They can be on the edge, and it's allowed that they not always succeed, because when you have this base of being trustworthy, it's easier also to be brave. Think as a challenger, although we are a market leader enjoying many strong number 1 and 2 positions in many markets, our 30+ markets. And then I think when I joined Orkla 15 months ago, I really felt that the sustainability agenda was for real. It was not sort of a tick off on a PowerPoint slide. It was genuine from my colleagues, really a focus on the sustainability agenda. Reduced wastage, improved packaging, reduce salt and sugar, focus on the plant-based dimension. And we all know about the Paris Agreement with the reduction of the climate footprint. And there was a survey now lately in Norway where only 4 companies out of the 100 biggest companies in Norway had delivered on the Paris Agreement documenting the reduced footprint. And Orkla, I'm glad to say we were part of those 4 companies standing out. And to me, that means culture eats strategy for breakfast, a famous saying from a professor, Peter Drucker, many years ago. I think all companies, of the 100 companies, they had sustainability on their strategy agenda, but delivering on that, executing on that, that's something different, meaning that it's not just a PowerPoint slide, it's for real. It's a differentiating factor on attracting and retaining great people, because great people, they want to make a difference. And then to close in, I know that you've had a hectic day with many presentations, but Kate asked me, would you like to give some advice to those listening? Many listeners across many markets. Some of you are about to graduate, some of you have graduated, but what would be your advice going forward? And this is not easy to give some pieces of advice, but I think, first of all, I would say follow your passion. Follow your dreams, go for where you feel an inner drive, where the instinct feels right. Follow your passion. I think that will take you far. Then the second part, be willing to move across cities, across markets, building your international platform. And there you have an opportunity in Orkla to not just be Norwegian or not just be Swedish, etc. So be willing to move, and I think that's an element which is important in building an international presence, learning new cultures, new people all the time. And then I would say it's very often 90% hard work and 10% talent. So nothing comes without hard work, and therefore I think it's so important to follow your passion, because then you are also more willing to work hard during your career, and that will give you a great life, not just professionally, but also from a lifestyle point of view. And finally, as a final piece of advice, I would say be brave, stand out and be curious. Try to make a difference and find what are your biggest strengths and try to build on your braveness and your curiosity based on that. So hopefully you will apply for Orkla, and I wish you the very best and good luck in the further process. All the best.
Wow, thank you, Jan Ivar, for that very insightful talk and your advice and the wise words that you came and gave us. I hope you, the viewers, take away from this that Orkla is a global company rooted in local tradition. I think that is very important to remember.
Yes, so we are now moving on to the end of the quiz. So everybody get your answers in and we will be cutting the quiz now and we will quickly be tabulating the results and announcing the winner at the end of the show in a few minutes. But now we're moving on to the Q&A section.
Yes, so thank you, Jan Ivar, and we received many great questions from everyone. So thank you for sending in your questions. They have been very great, and there are a lot of questions that have come in, Kate, that we need to address because everyone wants to know. So let's dive into it before we announce the winner of the iPad and AirPods. My first question to you, Kate, is where do you go to find open positions?
Yes, a very good question. I think the best protocol is our career site. We have the QR code for you to scan. And I think regardless of which country you're watching from, all of our positions are listed up to date. And I know we're actively recruiting some sales and marketing in our Stockholm location and innovation opportunities in Denmark. So go there now and see what opportunities are available. And we also share all of our positions on social media as well.
Excellent. And can you give us, you can say, any advice for what we look in candidates?
Yeah, they're definitely, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to candidates. And I think today's a fantastic example of how many varied backgrounds, different academic programs that all the employees of Orkla come from. So I think if we look at the common denominator that all of the companies and all of the businesses in Orkla are looking for, it would be creativity. And creativity, it just doesn't have to be in a marketing or a digital or a context, but we look for creativity in all of our functional areas. So this is, I think, creativity, a curiosity, challenging the status quo, thinking out of the box. These are all things that you really should try to show in your application that this is an ability you have.
And one very important question that we received from our audience is, what does Orkla do to maintain work-life balance? Can you give us any concrete examples, Kate?
You know, I definitely can, because being from Canada, I've worked in Canada. I've also worked in London. And now having worked in Norway, I definitely can see quite a difference in terms of how we look at work-life balance, how we value life outside of the office. And we are a Norwegian, a Nordic founded and based business. And I think it influences the workplace culture regardless of where you are. So we don't expect, we have high standards of work and quality, but at the same time, I think Jan Ivar spoke about his family life as well, that we understand that you have a life and we want you to have a life outside of work as well. And that's actually a big difference for me that I've noted having worked in different geographies.
And this is a Nordic event, but we have received a question regarding, you could say, Central Europe or Europe. And the person here is asking, do you have any plans of growing or expanding your business to Central Europe?
Well, we're already there, actually. We have one of our largest businesses is actually based in the Czech Republic. And we are home to very well-known brands like Hamme and Vitana. So we're very much in the sandwich spreads and the spices and lots of different products. And we have quite a number of employees based there. And we actually went through an integration last year of bringing all of our brands together under one business.
Thank you for that answer, Kate. So remember, we're already in Central Europe. And here's a very interesting question from regarding something that will and is very relevant. Here we have an individual asking or saying, I have a Master of Science in Management, but not yet that much work experience. What opportunities do you offer for people with less experience and a business degree?
Well, I think there's a couple things to consider here. I mean, we have internships based across lots of different businesses. I think we've promoted quite a bit our opportunities in Norway, but next year we will be expanding those offerings into other countries. So if you're currently studying, I absolutely recommend you to look at an internship. They're a fantastic way to really put that theory into practice. But then at the same time, we have a number of new graduate positions across the board that we tend to hire in That's within finance, within our commercial positions. So it's, you know, kind of a mix of where you are in terms of your studies and graduation.
Excellent, thank you. So we're still rounding up who the winner is. And remember, now we have time for one last question before we
take it away.
So let me ask you this. What makes Orkla different from its competitors? What do you believe, Kate, are our most competitive areas, business and organization-wise?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great question, and I think we saw some of our panelists talk about this, especially those who have worked in other companies. But I think this is also, until you've worked here, I think a lot of people don't know this question, so I'm so happy it's been addressed here. But I think the fact that Orkla has this end-to-end value chain, that gives you access to so many different opportunities. And you basically saw the people behind the whole value chain through our panelists. And then in addition, we also have this global local model. And that's a really big difference from a multinational, because we are able to react, adapt, and really make the changes that our local customers want and need. And we don't have to go back to a global HQ and get approval for that. We can really be reactive and in the moment and listen to what our customers want. And what comes with that freedom comes an incredible amount of ownership, impact, and creativity. And I think that's a really important difference, definitely within our competitor space.
Excellent. And now I know who our winner is.
Drum roll.
So imaginary drum roll, please, everyone. We have a winner from our quiz, and the winner is none other than Elin Salomonsson from Sweden. So congratulations, Elin.
Grattis, as we say.
Gratulerer. And to all of you who did not win, you did all win something. You won a lot of information about Orkla and who we are and what we represent. So Elin, we will reach out to you very shortly on how you can grab your prize.
And just remember to follow us on social media. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram. It's a fantastic way to stay up to date on what's happening in our different companies and also on our open positions. And we just want to say another big thank you to all of our presenters, our panelists, our behind the scenes help in making this a fantastic event. And we hope all of you at home behind your screens have also had a great time. So thank you from us. Good night.
Thank you indeed. Good night, everyone.
I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire.